came into my life quietly, like light entering a room that had forgotten how to open its windows. No thunder, no warning, just presence. You stood there, smiling, and suddenly everything I thought I knew about love began to tremble. Your voice was a calm storm, your eyes a sea I could drown in and call it peace. You didn't ask to stay, you simply did. And for the first time I stopped running from the sound of my own heart. We were two constellations learning how to align, two broken songs searching for harmony. Every night we built a world of whispers and touch, a fragile paradise suspended between what was real and what we were brave enough to believe in. And it felt like salvation. You said don't be afraid of love, but I was, because love was everything that could be lost. And you were everything I couldn't afford to lose. Still I loved you with the reckless honesty of someone who knows it can't last, with the kind of devotion that rewrites the air itself. We didn't love perfectly, we loved truthfully, and sometimes that's all the universe asks of us. Days blurred into months and life became a slow dance between light and shadow. We talked about the future as if it were a promise we could hold in our hands without it slipping through. But love, I learned, is made of moments, not guarantees. The cracks began in silence, you'd turn away before falling asleep. I'd stare at the ceiling, counting the stars. We stopped naming the same words that once healed us, began to feel like echoes of something already gone. Then one morning you looked at me as if the world had already taken you elsewhere. No anger, no tears, just distance. And in that distance I understood some goodbyes don't sound like goodbyes, they sound like breathing. You left your sweater on the chair, your favorite book half open on the floor. The scent of you lingered like a memory refusing to fade. I thought if I kept everything as it was, maybe you'd return. But the door stayed closed and the silence grew roots. Days turned to seasons. Winter came and went without your warmth. I learned to walk alone, to drink coffee from one cup instead of two, to stop waiting for footsteps that would never return. People said time heals, but they never told me how slow time moves when you're trying to forget someone who lives inside your skin. So I carried you in quiet ways, in the music I couldn't stop playing, in the scent of rain on a spring night, in the habit of turning to share something before remembering you weren't there. Sometimes love doesn't leave scars, it leaves gardens, things that grow in the spaces it once filled. And in that growth I found something softer than grief, understanding. I began to write again, every poem was you, every line was a mirror where your face appeared, not as the person I lost, but as the person who taught me how to feel. One evening, years later, I saw you again, across across a crowded street, the sunset folding around you like gold cloth. You looked older, calmer, like someone who had forgiven the world. Our eyes met, it wasn't electric this time, just warm. A quiet recognition, we survived it. We didn't speak, we didn't need to. Love had already said everything it needed to say, and time had translated it into peace. You smiled, that same soft, knowing smile, and I smiled back. And just like that, every piece of sorrow turned into something beautiful. Later that night, as I walked home beneath the streetlights, I thought about how love doesn't really end. It becomes part of the language we live in. It becomes the way we see light, the way we hold kindness, the way we forgive. You were once my entire sky, and now you are the air I breathe without noticing. And that's okay, that's love too, the kind that doesn't need to burn to be real. Sometimes when the dawn creeps through my window, I think of you, not with pain, but with gratitude. Because some people don't stay, but they change the way the world feels forever. And as the first light touches the city, I whisper to the empty room, thank you for finding me when I was lost, for breaking me gently, for teaching me that even endings can shine. The dawn forgets everything but light, and still, somehow, it remembers us.
The city breathes and whispers, every window exhales a story, every street remembers the weight of footsteps long gone. The air is thick with afterthoughts, perfume, smoke, and the taste of something unfinished. The night folds around me, a velvet coat lined with electricity. I am not alone, but solitude feels like the only honest companion left. And left somewhere far off, a trumpet speaks, it bends the air with sorrow, turning the ordinary into confession. The notes rise and fall like sighs, like someone trying to explain love to silence. I stop walking and listen. Sound floats through the alley, faint but certain, a reminder that beauty doesn't need witnesses, only intention. Neon signs flicker like nervous thought, the colors pulse, red, blue, gold, a heartbeat translated into light. Rain begins to fall again, soft, endless kind. Each drop writes a new rhythm on the pavement. The city becomes an orchestra of water and wind, and I find myself walking in time, not because I mean to, but because everything here has rhythm. Cab slides by, its tires whispering against the wet asphalt inside. Two faces, one looking forward, one looking away. I imagine their silence has a tune, most silences do. Maybe that's what jazz really is, all the things we couldn't say turned into smoke and sound. I pass a bakery still open. The smell of bread softens the night inside. An old man hums to himself a tune that has no name, but every note feels like home. He looks up, and for a second our eyes meet. No words, just recognition. Two strangers sharing a measure of time. I pass a bakery still open. The smell of bread softens the night inside. An old man hums to himself a tune that has no name, but every note feels like home. He looks up, and for a second our eyes meet. No words, just recognition. Two strangers sharing a measure of time. Outside again, the street stretches ahead like a sheet of music unplayed. I walk along the staff lines of shadow and light, letting my mind drift between melody and memory. A couple dances on the corner, no music, no audience, just rhythm borrowed from the city's pulse. Their laughter spills into the rain, and for a moment everything feels possible. The skyscrapers rise like tired gods, their windows shimmering with dreams they'll never see. Every floor, another life, another secret lit against the dark. Sometimes I think the city watches us the way we watch stars, with quiet envy and wonder. Down by the river, the reflection of the skyline trembles. It looks fragile, almost breakable. I toss a coin, watch it vanish into ripples that erase themselves. Maybe that's how memory works here. It forgets with grace. The bridge hums overhead, steel strings vibrating in the key of midnight. A street musician sits beneath it, playing a guitar with fingers cracked by weather and time. His case lies open, half full of change, half full of stories. He plays like he's speaking to someone he lost. The notes drift upward, meeting the rain halfway. I drop a coin, it clinks like a punctuation mark in his song. He nods without looking, that's gratitude enough. I keep walking, every corner smells different. Coffee, asphalt, regret. I pass graffiti that reads, we were here, and I believe it. We all write our names somewhere, even if the rain takes them away. Maybe that's the point, to vanish beautifully. A cat crosses the street, tail high, eyes gold like late night whiskey. It disappears into an alley where a neon sign hums above a door that says open. I follow, not knowing why. Inside the room glows in shades of amber and blue. A quartet plays slow, piano soft as breath, bass steady as truth. Drums like gentle memory, the singer's voice floats through the haze. Low, tender, infinite, she sings of the sea, but everyone hears the city. I take a seat at the back, order something warm, and watch her hands move with the melody. Crowd listens quietly, each person somewhere else in their mind. It feels like prayer without belief. The song ends, but no one claps right away. We're suspended as if afraid to wake the moment. Outside it's almost morning, the horizon blushes faintly behind the skyline. The last of the neon fades, the last cab slows to a stop. The air smells different now, like beginnings pretending to be endings. I light a cigarette, inhale the final hour of night. find the ghosts of all the things I never said. I think of her again, the one who used to wait for me at this hour. Her laughter still lingers in the corners of memory, like dust that refuses to leave. I don't remember her voice anymore, only its warmth, that's how lovers survive.
I still remember the night the stars fell quietly over us, their silver dust tracing promises across your skin. We lay beneath the whispering sky, two souls stitched together by the hum of something infinite. You looked at me as if you could read every unspoken word, hiding behind my palms. The air smelled like rain and forgiveness. Your hand found mine, not searching, just knowing. And for that brief eternity, the world was small enough to fit inside your smile. You laughed like sunlight through water, soft, breaking, beautiful. I told you I was afraid of forever, and you said, then let's live as if we already have. We did, in fragments, in glances that held 1,000 unsent letters, in moments that felt too fragile to survive the dawn. Love came quietly like a secret tide, pulling me toward your shore. You were the calm and the storm, the question and the answer I didn't know I'd been carrying. I built whole universes in the spaces between your words, and still it never felt like enough. We loved without symmetry, you all fire and impulse, me all silence and slow surrender. But somehow we fit. Every fight was a storm that broke into laughter. Every night a small resurrection. I can still feel the weight of your head on my shoulder, the way you'd breathe out my name like a prayer half remembered. You traced circles on my wrist, saying nothing, meaning everything. The world outside was chaos, but in that tiny borrowed peace we found home. Then came the stillness, the kind that hums beneath the heart when something begins to end. We spoke less, held back more. The distance wasn't measured in miles, but in the seconds between our words. You started sleeping on the edge of the bed, I started dreaming of places without walls. We didn't break, we drifted like two stars, moving on separate orbits, still shining, but no longer aligned. The last time I saw you, the city was soaked in gold. The sunset touched your hair and turned you into something holy. You smiled, not like before, but like someone learning how to say goodbye without breaking. I wanted to stop you, to tell you that love doesn't fade, it just changes its shape. But the words wouldn't come, they stayed in my throat, heavy, trembling like all the things we never said. You walked away, your shadow lingered a heartbeat longer than you did. And in that moment I realized leaves behind. Years have passed since then. I've built a life from the pieces you left untouched. There are mornings when I forget your name, but never the sound of it. Sometimes when the rain slides down my window, I swear I hear your voice in it, soft, distant, like a memory trying to find its way home. People ask me if I still think of you. I tell them love never really leaves. It hides in familiar songs, in the scent of jasmine on a summer night, in the empty space beside me when the world goes quiet. Once I dreamt of you standing in a field of light. You looked the same, only freer. You reached out your hand and I almost touched you, but then the dream dissolved and all that remained was the warmth of your gaze. Maybe that's what love becomes, not presence but imprint, a whisper that outlives the voice, a warmth that lingers after the flame. You are not here, and yet somehow you are everywhere. Every poem I write carries your reflection. Every melody I hum echoes your name. And though time keeps pulling us forward, some part of me still turns back to that night under falling stars, when love felt endless and everything that mattered fit between your breath and mine. If I could see you again, I wouldn't ask for forever. I just ask for one moment to look at you the way I did when everything began. No words, no promises, just that quiet understanding that what we had was real. Because love doesn't end with goodbye, it becomes a story told in the spaces we once filled, retold in every heartbeat that dares to remember. And so when I walk beneath the same sky where the stars once fell over us, I close my eyes and listen. Somewhere between the wind and the silence, I hear you, not as you were, but as you've always been. The echo of everything I've ever loved, the light that stayed after the
first time I saw you, you were standing in a room filled with noise. But everything went quiet, the laughter around us folded into silence, and the air between us changed shape. You looked at me like you already knew how the story would end, but still wanted to live it anyway. There was something in your eyes, something both dangerous and kind, like a flame pretending to be light. I remember how your voice brushed against me, soft as smoke, and how every word felt like a promise. I was too afraid to believe. You said love isn't a choice, it's a moment, and I think that's when it began. The slow burning, the gentle collapse of everything I used to be. We felt endless, through cities that glowed like open hearts. Our hands found each other in the dark, our shadows danced ahead of us. Every touch was a question, every breath an answer, and that fragile space between your heartbeat and mine. I found something that felt like truth. You loved like you were running out of time, and I held you like I could stop the clock. But time doesn't listen to love, it just keeps moving, stealing seconds from the places we thought were eternal. I still remember the morning you didn't say goodbye. The sunlight was cruel that day, spilling across the sheets we used to share. Your coffee cup was still warm, your scent lingered in the air, a ghost that refused to fade. The city outside kept living, but inside me everything stood still. I tried to call your name, but it felt like speaking to the wind. Some part of me already knew you were gone, not because you stopped loving me, but because love sometimes demands distance. I learned how to live around the absence, how to smile without meaning it, how to let the memory of you settle like dust over my heart. There were days I almost forgot your face, but then a song would play, or the rain would fall a certain way, and suddenly you were there again in the corner of my mind, looking at me like you did that first night when everything was new and possible. I saw you once more in a cafe by the river. You were alone reading a book the same way you used to, and I couldn't sleep. For a moment the years folded in on themselves, and it was as if nothing had changed. I almost called your name, almost. But some stories are meant to stay unfinished. You looked up, our eyes met, and in that brief suspended moment, I swear the world remembered us, not as we were, but as we could have been. Two people who found something rare and loved it enough to let it go. I smiled quietly, you did too, and without a word we forgave everything. Now when I walk through the city at night, I still feel you in the reflection of neon lights on wet pavement, in the hum of the subway under my feet, in the space where your hand once fit perfectly into mine. You are everywhere and nowhere, a constellation I still navigate by. Sometimes I think love doesn't end, it just becomes light, lingering in the places we once stood, waiting for us to pass by again. So when people ask me if I still think of you, I tell them I don't think about her, I see her in everything. The wind moves the curtains, that's you. The moon hides behind cloud, that's you too. Every sunrise feels like forgiveness, Every sunset feels like a memory I haven't lived yet. You taught me that love is both anchor, horizon, both arrival and departure. You taught me that losing someone can be another way of keeping them inside every version of myself that learned how to stay soft. And though the years keep stealing our echoes somewhere inside the quiet, I still hear your laughter, not loud, not broken, just there, like light that refuses to leave. If I could say one last thing, I'd tell you we were beautiful, weren't we? Not perfect, not lasting, but beautiful in the way stars are beautiful, even as they die. The city breathes and whispers, every window exhales a story, every street remembers the weight of footsteps long gone. The air is thick with afterthoughts, perfume, smoke, and the taste of something unfinished. The night folds around me, a velvet coat lined with electricity. I am not alone, but solitude feels like the only honest companion left. Somewhere far off, a trumpet speaks. It bends the air with sorrow, turning the ordinary into confession. The notes rise and fall like sighs, like someone trying to explain love to silence. I stop walking and listen. The sound floats through the alley, faint but certain, a reminder that beauty doesn't need witnesses, only intention. Neon signs flicker like nervous thoughts, the colors pulse, red, blue, gold, a heartbeat translated into light. Rain begins to fall again, soft, endless kind. Each drop writes a new rhythm on the pavement. The city becomes an orchestra of water and wind, and I find myself walking in time, not because I mean to, but because everything here has rhythm. A cab slides by, its tires whispering against the wet asphalt. Inside, two faces, one looking forward, one looking away. I imagine their silence as a tune, most silences do. Maybe that's what jazz really is. All the things we couldn't say turn into smoke and sound. Smell of bread softens the night inside. An old man hums to himself a tune that has no name, but every note feels like home. He looks up, and for a second our eyes meet. No words, just recognition. Two strangers sharing a measure of outside again, the street stretches ahead like a sheet of music unplayed. I walk along the staff lines of shadow and light, letting my mind drift between melody and memory. A couple dances on the corner, no music, no audience, just rhythm borrowed from the city's pulse. The laughter spills into the rain, and for a moment everything feels possible. The skyscrapers rise like tighter guards, their windows shimmering with dreams they'll never see. Every floor another life, another secret lit against the dark. Sometimes I think the city watches us the way we watch stars, with quiet envy and wonder. Down by the river, the reflection reflection of the skyline trembles. It looks fragile, almost breakable. I toss a coin, watch it vanish into ripples that erase themselves. Maybe that's how memory works here. It forgets with grace. The bridge hums overhead, steel strings vibrating in the key of midnight. A street musician sits beneath it, playing a guitar with fingers cracked by weather and time. His case lies open, half full of change, half full of stories. He plays like he's speaking to someone he lost. The notes drift upward, meeting the rain. Halfway I drop a coin, it clinks like a punctuation mark in his song. He nods without looking, that's gratitude enough. I keep walking. Every corner smells different, coffee, asphalt, regret. I pass graffiti that reads, we were here, and I believe it. We all write our names somewhere, even if the rain takes them away. Maybe that's the point, to vanish beautifully. A cat crosses the street, tail high, eyes go like late night whiskey. It disappears into an alley where a neon sign hums above a door that says open. I follow, not knowing why. Inside the room glows in shades of amber and blue. A quartet plays slow, piano soft as breath, bass steady as truth. Drums like gentle memory. The singer's voice floats through the haze, low, tender, infinite. She sings of the sea, but everyone hears the city. I take a seat at the back, order something warm, and watch her hands move with a melody. The crowd listens quietly, each person somewhere else in their mind. It feels like prayer without belief. The song ends, but no one claps right away. We're suspended as if afraid to wake the moment. Outside, it's almost morning. The horizon blushes faintly behind the skyline. The last of the neon fades, the last cab slows to a stop. The air smells different now, like beginnings pretending to be endings. I light a cigarette, inhale the final hour of night. The smoke curls upward, joining the ghost of all the things I never said. I think of her again, the one who used to wait for me at this hour. Her laughter still lingers in the corners of memory, like dust that refuses to leave. I don't remember her voice anymore, only its warmth. That's how love survives here, in temperature, not words. The city stretches, shakes the dream from its shoulders, and opens its eyes to another day. Workers emerge like notes from a new song, coffee in hand, eyes heavy with rehearsal. Somewhere a door closes softly, somewhere else music begins again. And me, I keep walking, the rhythm follows, steady, quiet, eternal. Each step a measure, each breath a chord unresolved. The city and I caught between heartbeats, both alive, both searching for the downbeat that never comes. Every step is syncopation, every sigh a muted trumpet note. The sky is velvet and alive, painted with the smoke of yesterday. The lights wink like secrets, half-forgotten lovers blinking back. A baseline hides in the concrete, its throb curling through my shoes, whispering stories of lonely drummers and girls who dance with ghosts. A saxophone bleeds from a second-floor bar, the melody too soft to name, but too warm to ignore. I drift past windows a diner glowing amber, and inside a man in a worn suit stirs his coffee like it's a ritual. The waitress hums something off-key, and it sounds like hope. Outside, puddles catch the reflection of passing headlights, turning sadness into rhythm. Someone's radio spills old Coltrane notes, tumble down the alley, mixing with footsteps, with whispers, with my thoughts. And I think maybe this city is a band, and I'm just the walking groove line, holding it together in silence. A woman crosses the street, red scarf catching wind like a flame. She looks at me for half a second, that half second lasts forever. She's gone, but her rhythm stays in my chest like a chord under his own. Time slows, rain begins again, soft like brushes on snare, and I close my eyes to feel it. Each drop hits the pavement with purpose, a percussion of memory. The night deepens, and somewhere a pianist searches for the right chord to end the song. I keep walking the city breeze, and I breathe back. I remember her laugh, it had swing, that kind of offbeat joy that made the silence jealous. Her voice was velvet on vinyl, scratched just enough to be real. We used to dance without music, our shadows tracing melodies that no one else could hear. Now the streets hum her name, and every car that passes is another verse of goodbye. I talk to the rhythm, ask it where she went. It answers with thunder in the distance, a slow, low note that fades into memory. A trumpet cries near the river, I follow it. The water mirrors the skyline, broken, trembling alive. The bridge ahead glows in faint blue, a stage light waiting for a story. I stop beneath it and listen. The horn keeps playing as if the night itself needs music to wed. Had low, cold, long eyes lost in the smoke. He doesn't see me, but I swear he plays for me. Each note curls through the fog, soft as confession, warm as forgiveness. He finishes not to no one and vanishes into the dark. I stay. The echo lingers, bouncing off the steel, settling somewhere between my ribs. The river smells like stories and forgotten names. I whisper mine into it, and it carries it away, fading like reverb. The moon slips out from a cloud, spilling silver across the skyline. It's not bright, just enough to outline everything I almost understand. I light a cigarette, I don't want, watch the smoke curl upward like half-formed promises. A breeze moves through the city, cool, deliberate, like fingers over piano keys. It brushes my cheek, and suddenly I remember I'm not lost. I'm just playing my part. Every corner, every street light is another measure in the song. Some nights are major, some minor, but everyone resolves somehow. Even if the chord is soft, even if no one hears it, the traffic becomes percussion. The rain, a hi-hat shimmer, my heart beats steady kick drum. I hum along without knowing the word. Maybe that's all life is, a groove you fall into, not a melody you chase. I think about tomorrow, but it feels like an unfinished phrase, the kind the pianist leaves hanging, waiting for the right dawn to resolve. Still the rhythm keeps moving, the city doesn't stop for sorrow. It just bends it in a time. every night hides morning, the lights begin to dim. The sky grows pale at the edges, the bassline slows. The streets exhale, I reach home as the first bird sings. A simple melody over the last echoes of the city's gym. I pour a drink, put on some slow vinyl, and watch the smoke dance again. No words, no plans, just the groove. It holds me gently like a truth too soft to name. And as dawn spills gold over everything broken, I realize the night never ends, it just changes tempo. So I raise my glass to the city, to the lost, the found, to the quiet players in every corner, to every lonely trumpet, every dancer without music, every dream that swung too hard and fell. All part of time forgot to move in the half-light of a city that never sleeps. The rain whispers secrets on the glass, and every drop spelled your name. You smile, not at me, but through me, like you could see the pieces I hide behind my skin. The world faded, colors melted, and I thought, if this is love, let it ruin me slowly. We were young enough to believe in forever, old enough to know what forever cost. The way you touched me felt like a confession, like two souls finding language in silence. Every breath you gave was a promise, and every silence a wound. We built our home in the echo of our laughter, on the trembling edge of what we feared most to lose, what we never owned. I remember the night you said, love isn't about holding on, it's about seeing someone clearly. But I only saw you when you were leaving, the door closed with the weight of 1,000 stars, and I stood there learning how emptiness breathes. You left your perfume on my pillow, your ghost in every mirror, even the walls learned your name, and the moon became a witness to our slow unraveling. I try to forget you by remembering everything, the first laugh, the last fight, the way your fingers drew galaxies on my back. But memory is a cruel artist, painting love with the color of loss. Days bled into weeks, and still I could hear your heartbeat inside the rain. You once told me love is like water, it takes the shape of what it fills. But what happens when the vessel breaks? Do we drown, or are we finally free? I saw you again years later, beneath a different sky, holding someone new. You looked happy, truly happy, and for a moment my heart forgave the past, because maybe that's what love becomes. Not fire, not ache, but a quiet acceptance. I wanted to say thank you for teaching me how to feel, but the words dissolved before they reached you. Some stories don't need an ending, they just fade into memory like smoke after rain. Still on certain nights, when the wind carries a song I once played for you, I close my eyes and see you again, your laughter spilling across my chest, your hands tracing promises we could never keep. Love was never ours to own, it was a moment, a spark, a brief alignment of two souls passing through time. And though you're gone, you remain in the pauses between breaths, in the soft collapse of my heart when the dawn arrives too soon. Maybe love isn't about staying, maybe it's about transforming, turning pain into art, loss in a melody, and goodbye into something almost beautiful. So I write you into every verse, bury you between chords and metaphors. metaphors. Let your name echo where silence dares not go. Because you were never just someone I loved. You were the song that taught me how to listen. Even now, when I dance with shadows, I feel your rhythm under my skin. The space between us hums with what we once were. A language of eyes, a story without punctuation. And I think perhaps love never ends. It just changes form, from hands to memories, from heartbeat to horizon, from you and I to everything we touched along the way. So here's to the moments, to every laughter, every break in, to the night we thought